Junkies.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about piracy. A couple of articles that Dido and I stumbled upon today dealt with piracy and the punishments resulting from said piracy. So there was a manga, a runner of a manga site that was arrested and was just sentenced to 3 years in prison, and for running a manga piracy site. And the manga industry cited that they had, was it $2.9 billion in lost revenue from his.
Wait, this is where?
This is from Japan. This is from Japan. He actually fled Japan, moved to Indonesia just to get away from them. And Japan created a special task force to go and get his ass, and they got him. And they got him. So, but then also Dido talked about a ROM site that I actually used to go to. What is ROM Universe? I think?
It might have been ROM Universe. Yeah,
ROM Universe. Go ahead, talk about it.
He was making $30,000 a year peddling ROMs that he didn't own, and now he owes Nintendo $2.1 million. They went after his ass hard, and he tried to represent himself without a lawyer.
Like a dumbass. He tried to represent himself.
They tore him apart. Nintendo's lawyers tore him apart. I mean, speaking of the loss, that's the thing that kind of bothers me. I understand it's their stuff, and they want to make the money from it. And when it comes to manga, we were talking about that earlier, that they said they lost this amount of money based on how many people downloaded this stuff. Mm-hmm. And I truly believe if that stuff didn't exist, now I'm not saying that is right that they're doing. I'm just saying I don't think they lost.
We're not saying that at all.
Yeah,
Culture Junkies does not advocate for piracy.
Do not
advocate for
unless
piracy.
You're a straw hat pirate.
But please continue.
But I don't see them losing. You can't lose what was not made in the digital age. Copies are not copies. If somebody copies something, the original one doesn't disappear. This is a physical one. Mm-hmm. If somebody steals this from me, it is gone. I do not have it. But if somebody makes a copy of this, the copy, it still exists. That's why people they have digital stores right now and they can sell so much stuff. It's because of digital stores. Are you trying to tell me that the potential loss that if you create a digital thing, that if people bought physical things and you didn't buy digital at all, you have potential loss? It's like, no, you didn't have a potential loss. You did gain from the physical, and you may have gained from the digital. You didn't lose any sales from your digital store at all. You can't lose sales on something that technically doesn't exist.
Yeah, you can, because Cassidius brought up Napster, and that's a perfect example of that.
You still using Napster?
The reason we even have digital downloads anyway is because of Napster. Napster is kind of the originator
of that. Yeah.
But you have to remember, as soon as you make something, like for example, you write a story or whatever, and you write that. Yes, you're gonna want to have your brick and mortar book copies and all that stuff that you might put out there, but your digital version, regardless of it just being a file, is still representative of your hard work, your particular thing, your product, whatever it may be. And every single time that file gets shared and you don't get any money off of that, that's a loss for you. Mm-hmm. Every single time.
So the Iguana Man is saying out of the chat, he says, with the rise of NFTs, they're about to double down on anti-piracy efforts. What is that you just saw earlier today?
This Kotaku mentioned something about NFTs is over.
Yeah, they NFT market has crashed.
They said it crashed. I'm like, I first off didn't know it was around long enough to crash. And non-fungible tokens, I still don't understand what a non-fungible token is. I just saw that Charlie Bit My Finger got taken down and sold as an NFT for $750,000.
Which is ridiculous.
Basically, it's the ability to own a meme, or it's the ability to own a digital art or a digital thing, and you be the sole owner of it. That's all it really is. It's the ultimate. It's the collector's ultimate dream. Like, I own this, and nobody else can own it.
Okay,
but you can't freaking scrub the internet of that stuff. You might be able to take it off of YouTube.
You can start suing people for using it.
Exactly, and that's what that extends to. So that brings up another point, right?
Hold on.
Go ahead. No,
you can sue people for using it, though it was there before you even bought it.
Doesn't matter.
You bought the rights to it.
You own the rights to it now.
That's
Okay, so that brings up something else that I was going to see. And you know how a lot of people like to buy movies on Amazon, right? And I remember there was something on the internet not too long ago about how Amazon has explicitly stated, just because you bought this movie on our service, you do not own it.
No, you don't own any digital.
You do not own it.
You don't own any digital.
Right,
stuff.
you don't own any digital stuff. So this goes back to our old thing about how physical is always better, because you actually can stake some claim of ownership on it. Now, why does piracy exist at all? For two reasons.
Yeah.
2 reasons. One, motherfuckers is cheap as hell. That's number
people.
one. Number two is because they ain't got no goddamn money.
No, some of it.
I think it's because they ain't got
some
no
of the
damn
things people like to call piracy is actually them trying to preserve things. As we may have spoke off camera, is that
okay? I can see that.
There are tons of arcade games that got dumped and put on the internet because those actual physical arcade machines
no longer exist.
They don't exist.
They don't exist
Nobody's
anymore.
taking care of them. Nobody's trying to preserve anything.
And honestly, those same titles, I believe, aren't they in the public domain now? Like the
Some
older
of them
titles?
might be.
Like some of the
to get in the
public domain,
ones?
I think you got to be in for 50 years.
Yeah, they keep pushing it back because of Disney. Disney keeps changing, making the laws
Mickey
change.
Mouse?
Mickey Mouse, and I think Warner Brother or DC with Superman, because both of them should have been in public domain already. But you're losing too much money. Ha, ha, ha.
There are certain things that you will fight to the death to keep, because if Disney ever lost Mickey Mouse or if DC ever lost Superman into public domain,
oh boy,
you know how much money that would just. Now, granted, Mickey isn't even all that important to Disney like
let me
that,
tell you something.
But he's still known.
I'd be running Superman shirts all day long.
Running them. It's like
running them boys all day long to sell them. Anyway, so that's the interesting thing we kind of wanted to bring up about piracy and just kind of the consequences of it, especially the stupid ass that decided to represent himself in front of Nintendo's lawyers.
No, that's
dumb.
That's literally the I don't have any money and nobody's gonna take this case. That's all that was.
I literally can't believe,
dude, Nintendo comes after you. You may as well just wave
submit.
the right flag right now.
Right, just submit, just give in.
Nintendo is almost as cutthroat as Disney when it comes to going after people legally. So
without question,
that's not even
without question.
That wasn't smart.
No, not at all.
Hey, we hope you enjoyed that clip. Make sure you check out our live content on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/culturejunkies. We also have a lot of content available on YouTube, unboxings as well as Blu-ray reviews. And you can support us on Patreon, patreon.com/culturejunkies. And on top of all of that, if you go to culturejunkies.net, you can check out our merch store. The link is culturejunkies.net/merch. There's a lot of great merchandise there. So there's links and logos and stuff all around me. So check those out, and we will see you next time.